This John Constantine build is a highly versatile and opportunistic character, blending high-impact magical offense with unparalleled control and utility, all wrapped in a charmingly manipulative facade. Hello guys, Genuine here of Genuine Gaming, and here is my John Constantine build for Baldur's Gate 3. This is not an overpowered build, but a thematic one. I play this build on Honor mode. If you find this video helpful, do not forget to like, and for more Baldur's Gate 3 videos, subscribe to the channel. Overview. The most fundamental attribute of a bard is charisma. Bards don't necessarily have a deep academic understanding of magic like a wizard. Instead, they use their force of personality, their quick wit, and their ability to manipulate others, be they gods, demons, or people, to achieve their goals. While John Constantine doesn't fit the stereotypical mold of a lute-playing bard, his character, abilities, and overall approach to the world are a near-perfect embodiment of the core principles of a charisma-based College of Lore style bard. His rituals are his performance, his cunning is his magic, and his life is the epic ballad of a man who cons heaven and hell to save a world that hates him. With the Bard, Sorcerer, and Wizard levels, he will be a full level 12 caster when he reaches level 12. Crucial for embodying Constantine as the ultimate conman, the expertise and jack-of-all-trades skills can provide him with a double proficiency bonus in key social and knowledge skills. John Constantine's signature, synchronicity wave traveling, a form of uncanny luck and being at the right place at the right time, is perfectly emulated by the synergetic use of 3 powerful dice-altering mechanics, portent to which he gains after taking 2 levels of Divination Wizard, cutting words, which he gains after 3 levels of College of Lore Bard, represents his verbal trickery, quick wit, and snark, and lucky feet. This represents his persistent personal good fortune that often comes at the expense of those around him, the purest form of innate luck. These 3 abilities create an unprecedented level of control over the dice, making the character feel truly lucky and capable of manipulating fate. Build. For the race, we go for the human. As a human, we gain Civil Militia, which gives John Constantine the weapon of proficiency with spears, pikes, halberds, glaives, light armor, and shields. He also gains human versatility, which gives him an additional skill to be proficient in, which is very important for our build as we try to make John Constantine someone who is a jack of all trades. At level 1, we first pick up a sorcerer. You might wonder the reason for the sorcerer class at level 1 and not the bard, which is our main class. The main reason is to get the saving throw proficiency with Constitution, which helps our concentration checks. Aside from the Constitution, this also gives John Constantine saving throw proficiency with Charisma. The idea of giving him a sorcerer class stems from his blood being mixed with that of a demon. Since Baldur's Gate 3 does not have the Divine Soul Sorcerer, we just have to be content with the Draconic Bloodline Sorcerer with an infernal type like fire. That is why Red Draconic Bloodline is a good choice for him. For his cantrips, we choose Firebolt as his main cantrip weapon. The use of fire magic and John Constantine's iconic lighter can be linked in the context of the Firebolt, Scorching Ray, and Fireball, so we should not pass through these spells without choosing them in our spell list. Then we choose Friends as a way of conning other NPCs. Shocking Grasp, a spell we can use in close combat. And lastly, we choose Bone Chill as he is also inclined toward necromantic spells. Since we choose red for our Draconic ancestry, we will get Burning Hands as his bonus spell. If you want a more optimized build, white Draconic ancestry is a better choice, and this would give him the Armor of Agathis, a powerful spell if upcast with a higher level spell slot. Then we choose Magic Missile and Shield. For the background, we choose Charlatan as John Constantine is a con man. This would give us proficiency in Deception and Sleight of Hand. For his skills, he gets Dexterity 14, Constitution 14, Intelligence 14, and Charisma 16. For the last point, I put it in Strength to increase his carrying capacity. For his skills, we choose Arcana and Persuasion. For our human bonus skill, we get Intimidation. At level 2, we go for the Bard class. When John Constantine multiclasses in Bard, he gets to choose an additional skill proficiency. I suggest taking Investigation. For the cantrip, we choose Vicious Mockery and Light. For the spells, we choose Healing Word, Thunder Wave, Sleep, and Heroism. We also get 3 charges of Bardic Inspiration that can add 1d6 to our allies' next attack roll, ability check, or saving throw. They recharge after a long rest. At level 3, continue in the Bard class. This would give us Song of Rest, another source for short rest, and Jack of all trades. He adds half of his proficiency bonus to ability checks that he is not proficient in. For this spell, we choose Disguise Self. At level 4, this makes us a level 3 Bard. As a level 3 Bard, we get to choose a subclass. For the subclass, we choose College of Lore. This would give us proficiency in 3 skills. We choose History, Religion, and Performance. We also gain 2 expertise in 2 skills we are proficient in from our Bard class. I suggest choosing Sleight of Hand and Deception. Aside from 3 proficiency skills, we also get the Cutting Words ability. By using a reaction and Bardic Inspiration, other creatures receive negative 1d6 penalty to attack roll, ability check, or saving throw. For this spell, we choose Enhance ability. I would suggest replacing Disguise Self with Shatter. At level 5, I suggest going for our third multiclass, which is a Wizard. This would help us learn powerful level 3 spells like Fireball and Lightning. I would also suggest during Act 1, equipping the Warped Headband of Intellect that raises his intelligence to 17. This would give us, at this moment, 4 prepared Wizard spells. We do not really mind what spells you have to choose, but we have to learn through scrolls like Scorching Ray and Fireball to put in a John Constantine flavor. For our cantrips, we choose Dancing Lights, Mage Hand, and Blade Ward. I do not suggest choosing cantrips that use attack rolls or saving throw DC, as our main ability stat is Charisma. For the spells, you can choose any, as you can learn those important spells that we need by learning through scrolls. You can also have the ability called Arcane Recovery, which allows you to recover expended spell slots through the number of its charges. At level 6, he continues to level up his Wizard class. As a level 2 Wizard, he chooses a subclass. For his subclass, he chooses Divination School. He gains an ability called Portent. He can use your reaction to change the die of any attack roll or saving throw rolled within 18 meters of him to one of his portent dice. Each portent die can only be used once, and he loses his unused portent dice at the end of the day. After each long rest, he can gain 2 random portent dice. For the spells, he can choose any. At level 7, he goes back to the Bard class. As a level 4 Bard, he gets a feat. For his feat, he picks up Lucky. This grants the user 3 lucky points, which can be used to manipulate either their rolls or an enemy's rolls. Then we choose Hold Person for our spell. At level 8, he continues in the Bard class up to level 9. As a level 5 Bard, we now get 4 Bardic Inspirations. This time they roll as a 1d8 and they recharge after a short or long rest. For our spell, we choose Glyph of Warding. At level 9, he gets the last level of his Bard class. As a level 6 Bard, he gets the Counter Charm ability. He and his allies within 9 meters get an advantage on saving throw against being charmed or frightened. For our spell, we choose Heat Metal. And as a level 6 College of Lore Bard, we learn 2 magical secrets. I suggest choosing Counter Spell and Mass Healing Word. But if we want a more destructive spell, choose Hunger of Hadar. By this time, I would suggest learning the Hold Monster spell for one of your prepared wizard spells. Conjure Elemental is also a nice spell to have for John Constantine. At level 10, we now go to level up our Sorcerer class. We can now choose Meta Magic. For our Meta Magic, we use Twin Spell and Careful Spell. For our spell, we choose Chromatic Orb. At level 11, we get another Meta Magic. For our Meta Magic, we choose Quicken Spell. For our spell, we choose Scorching Ray. Instead of using our prepared wizard spell for Scorching Ray, we now have it as a sorcerer spell. Since we now have a level 6 spell slot, we can now learn Chain Lightning and place it in one of our prepared wizard spells. At level 12, John Constantine is now a level 4 sorcerer. As a level 4 sorcerer, he gets a feat. For his feat, he chooses Elemental Adept, Fire. His spells will now ignore resistance to fire. And when he casts fire spells, he cannot roll a 1. Gear and Equipment. As I mentioned before, he is going to wear the Warped Band of Intelligence in Act 1. But he is going to change it when he gets to Act 2 with the Hat of Fire Acuity. It grants John Constantine Arcane Acuity whenever he deals with fire damage. He gets +1 bonus to his spell attack rolls and spell save DC for each remaining turn, making his spells more potent to every fire damage he takes. He can get this hat by killing the Strange Ox and looting it afterward. For his gloves, he uses Gloves of Dexterity, raising his Dexterity to 18. This is sold by a vendor in Kresh Yelik. For his robe, he uses the Robe of the Weave. It gives you +2 to AC and a +1 bonus to spell save DC and spell attack rolls. It also heals the wearer when it succeeds a saving throw against a spell. This can be found in Ramazit's Tower in a Globe of Invulnerability. For his boots, he uses the Boots of Striding. It gives him +1 athleticism, and when he casts a spell that requires concentration, he gains momentum for 1 turn. While concentrating, he cannot be knocked prone or moved against his will. It is worn by Minthara. For his rings and amulet, he can use whatever he wants. For my run, I let him wear the Psychic Spark, Callous Glow Ring, and Coruscation Ring. Other useful amulets are the Pearl of Power Amulet and the Spell Crux Amulet, which can give him an additional spell slot. For his weapon, let him use Markohish Gear. It gives him +1 bonus to spell save DC and attack rolls. This staff also gives him the ability called Arcane Battery. When activated, the next spell he casts doesn't cost a spell slot. When he uses Kareshka's Favor, I would suggest using Flame of Wrath for a more powerful fire spell. Gameplay. John Constantine's primary damage and control strategy revolves around the Hat of Acuity and the Scourging Ray spell. Casting an upcast Scorching Ray grants stacks of Arcane Acuity. With Arcane Acuity stacks, it dramatically boosts his spell save DC, making his subsequent control spells virtually impossible to resist. If the battle is crucial, he can always use his Meta Magic, Quicken Spell, to cast a powerful spell as a bonus action. He also excels at manipulating the ebb and flow of combat, protecting allies, and sabotaging enemy actions. Cutting Words can impose a penalty on an enemy's attack roll or saving throw. Portent Dice can be used to force a failure on a crucial saving throw or to force a miss on an enemy's high damage attack. Lucky Feet makes the enemy reroll an attack roll. These abilities are the ultimate reflection of John Constantine's uncanny luck. And lastly, Constantine is the smoothest talker at the party, utilizing his exceptional skills to avoid bloodshed or extract information. His high charisma, jack-of-all-trades ability, and expertise ensures John Constantine is competent in every single skill check. So that's my John Constantine build for Honor Mode in Baldur's Gate 3. See you in the next video. Ciao!